Hi guys and gals, welcome to a spooky episode. We're playing Fortnite, by the way. Yeah.
So we're gonna tell you about the scariest experiences that we've ever had.
Seagull tamer. I thought it said seagull tumor. Says the story. What? Okay, so this is completely serious as well. So the other night, I was just sitting in bed, trying to fall asleep. You know, like every kid. And while I was sleeping, I was dreaming of very horrifying things. Like something that was crawling very slowly towards me, and then consuming me. No, I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do what you did.
But it can't be dreams. It has to be like something.
It wasn't a dream. I was trying to dream of something scary because I wanted a nightmare. I started dreaming. When I woke up, the thing that I was imagining was right next to me. Like, not kidding. It was on, so you know where my TV sits, right?
Yeah.
Well, do you know the mouse? The mouse guardian thing that's up on my thing?
No, I do not.
Okay. Well, I might have to send you a picture of it so you know what I'm talking about. But there's a mouse thing that, if you look at it from the side, it looks like a girl crawling towards you if it's completely dark. And so it flashed, like I turned on a light, it flashed, that's when I saw it. I freaked out, covered my head, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. When I opened my eyes to take a peek again, it was gone, and then I hear two loud bangs outside. It's like if someone was breaking metal with a bat.
Oh.
I go outside, stupidest thing by the way, and then a cat jumps out of nowhere and like, I know cats aren't that scary, but from my perspective, if it was in the house, which generally I thought it was. Oh, by the way, later that night, I know I've already gotten on the topic of that, it was probably a cat, but I heard the same noise and no cat.
Huh.
So I just freaked out for the rest of the day and night. Then the next night, saw the same thing happened again. And it just stopped. Like forever.
So what happened to me last night? I was talking with Salem. And so if you don't believe me, you can ask him. This is not staged at all. We weren't talking yet. I can send you a screenshot of it if you want. I literally texted him saying, I know it sounds silly, but I'm texting you just in case something happens. And I was just sitting there watching the Unis Honest scary video thing. And then when it was over, I went over to record a video, which I didn't upload because it was trash. But while I was doing it, so next to my bed, I had my headphones on.
I'm shooting at someone.
A sound. Okay. It wasn't a sound that was coming from my headphones. I had my headphones completely off, okay? And I was not shooting. I was
shooting someone in the head. Killing them.
Yeah. I was just laying there, and the scratching continues. And my room is completely dark. I don't have any lights on in my room. Ever. And then, just suddenly, I hear banging next to me as well.
I completely annihilated their shield, by the way. Like, they will die.
And the banging didn't stop for a little bit. And that's when I decided to text Salem. And then we got in a call together, and I was completely silent. And then something or someone knocked on my window outside. It could have been a bug or something, but it sounded like someone was straight up knocking on my window. And then suddenly the room got colder. It was the scariest experience I have ever had in real life, and that was just last night.
Those guys are really low. I broke them to shreds. Like, I lasered that guy, so he's basically just dead. The other guy, I broke all of his shield multiple times, so they have basically nothing to heal themselves.
I don't have any materials. Gosh darn it.
Yeah, it was 74 HP. Alright, so now it's my turn. Now this one, I know, was not my imagination. This one was scary as heck. It was a clock ticking. No, I'm not gonna do this. It was a clock ticking, telling me I have 1 year left to live. Ah! Alright, no. But I just wanted to go there for a joke, but no, this is completely serious though. So I was walking with my friend Xavier. You'll see him in a little bit. This video is gonna be uploaded when I upload the other video with him that we did. But what happened was we were just walking together. It was basically Christmas. Well, no, it was Halloween. There was Halloween decorations everywhere. And we swore to each other. Not swearing. No, we didn't swear to each other. We swore to each other that we both saw a, not a bullet, but, oh yeah, that brings up another story with the bullet at the food market, you know that?
Oh yeah, good.
That brings up another story. He'll talk about that afterward, or we'll both talk about it. But
that's another video.
That'll be another video on itself.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be pretty long, because we did a lot of discovering for it.
Yeah.
But what happened is I saw a red moving dot on his body. Probably just someone pranking us. But afterward, this is gonna taunt people if you don't want to hear this. Not really though, it wasn't that bad actually. But we swore to each other, we both were like shaking out of our minds. We both went, we had a sleepover that night, so that's gonna bring up another story that I'm gonna talk about later once I have the time to. But what happened is we were just chilling, bulleting probably, like the scope for one, the laser sight. And while this is horrifying, but we heard a little nothing happened, but we just heard that and the thing went away.
You might cut out for me. Can you repeat that?
So what happened is did you hear the
what?
What we heard?
Just you heard.
What we heard was a little that's what we heard. So all we heard was a little and like it's obviously not that noise, but it sounded like a silencer, basically. Yeah. Is what we were both thinking. We went with our day, and then realized he was bleeding. Now, it wasn't, obviously, it couldn't have been a gun, because it was aiming towards his heart. But, it was next to his, like, leg. He just randomly bled. We both don't know why, and then he got a bloody nose later. So we had to clear that up.
This is probably scarier than last night, actually. So you remember back in like 2016, where there was the clown kidnappers going around everywhere?
Those were creepy. I mean, creepy clowns, obviously. But that was just scary. Like, I think it was 2016, wasn't it? Like, the year we just met? Or was it...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was 2016.
The year we met, this story was going around. We wanted to do research on it, but then we just scared ourselves into backing out of it. I don't blame us though.
So, at my old school, this was before I met you, and this was at my old school. I was friends with a boy. I'm not gonna say his name for privacy reasons, but we were doing research on the clowns, and we decided to go to the spot where most of them were found.
Man, why would you do that? I know you were just kids, but still.
Yeah, it was the CCD church over in California, and it's like there's a pit near that, like a completely empty, like a desert pit thing. And there were multiple holes and caves and random things. And we went into the cave, one of the caves.
Don't kill him. Yeah, we can't do anything with him. Yeah, we couldn't do anything with him.
There were 3 clowns. 3 of the clown people just in that cave. And they didn't notice us. But we ran as fast as we could.
Wait, you still live in Canada?
California, and we were on a trip to Disneyland. But like that was the scariest thing in the world. If
gloating emu. It's an emu.
If they would have noticed us,
yeah, gloating emu. It's an emu. It's the best. You guys should. Okay, sorry for interrupting you. But you guys should go ahead and go over to It's an Emu. It's the funniest video in the world, probably, at least to me. But it's so funny and cute. Alright, continue your story.
If they would have noticed us, we definitely would have died, because they had guns.
Well, I mean, did you tell your parents though?
What?
Did you tell your parents though?
No.
Well,
they still don't know.
Well, now they are because.
No, they don't watch the videos.
Oh, sad face. Alright, do you wanna go ahead and do the... Oh wait, no, that's gonna be a separate video. Do you have one more? Because I really don't know any right now.
Okay, yeah, I do have one more. This one's probably the least scary, because it was just my imagination running as a very young child. I was probably like 7, I think. Anyways, I was at my grandma's house, and there was a siren going on in the background. And no, it's not the siren head story, but there was a siren going on in the background, because there were police. And obviously, as a child, police sirens would scare me, but that wasn't even the scary part. Because I was in that scared state of mind, I was hiding under the covers, and I hear a sound, and it's just, I know now, it was just her dogs barking, but it sounded like some kind of monster growling. So I stayed under the covers, and after about an hour, no food or water, just laying under those covers, I decide to be brave and get out from the bed, and I see some sort of shadow on the wall, and it wasn't my grandma's shadow. This is the unexplainable part. I really did see a shadow on the wall, and then the shadow just disappeared.
Oh, so I also have a real story for another time. When you go around to the other food bank story. But yeah, I guess this is like our first little bit. Oh, before we go though. So this is kind of more like a lie and made someone else believe this, but it wasn't, because later on we found out it's not real. But I'm gonna say it was real because, you know, whole spooky theme. No, but this is more of an imagination thing. Because, you know, as kids, you really just want to imagine that something's going to attack you, but...
Yes,
stupid,
yes, that's
but
exactly what
true.
mine was.
It is stupid, but true. Do you want to go get this plane, or do you want to explore?
No, let's go get them. There's people in here.
Alright, first, let me just crush this guy first. Hey, Knock Shadow. Alright, I'm gonna just come through the top and kill everyone with my blades.
Tagged one of them. Tagged one of them.
Alright, so another spooky story. That's really not that spooky, but it is spooky.
On me, they're both spamming with drum gun. One has drum gun, one has normal assault rifle.
Okay, so the spooky story is that I made my friend believe that there were FNAF characters in my house. Don't know why, but I did. And it worked. And we forced ourselves to go run and hide. And later that night, we know it wasn't the mask that I had because I did that once. There's a figure, and it left. That's basically the whole story. Just really, it was just us prank each other, and then that happened, and we freaked out.
Oh wait,
and
actually, on the subject of me saying the FNAF thing, I actually do have a story. So again, at my grandma's house, we were about 9, 10, not that long ago, and we were running around. And we were playing Five Nights at Freddy's. And my grandma has her workroom with computers and stuff. And we were pretending that was the office. And we walked out. And there was some sort of spirit thing. I don't know. It wasn't
I love how you call it a spirit, though.
It was like a person. It wasn't scary or anything. It was just a spirit, and
like spirit as in like it looked like glowy white.
Yeah, it was more like a ghost, but like a human. And then it disappeared, and I was the one who saw it. My cousin did not see it, and that didn't scare me. And we kept playing, and then when my sister came around, she had the mask on and everything. She came around, tried to get into the room, and then my cousin, to the game, of course, ran away. And I was just trapped in that room by myself. And I start hearing noises. Not scary noises, again, just noises.
Like rustling.
Yeah, stuff like that. And I think, of course, oh, yeah, obviously that's my sister trying to get into the room or something. But it wasn't, because apparently my sister was chasing my cousin around outside. To this day, I still don't know what that was, and I still don't know who that figure was.
It could have been the ghost of the crying child. Like, that would actually be really scary if we saw the ghost of the crying child.
Tell them about the Bloody Mary.
You have 1 year to live. Tell the story.
No, really, tell them about the Bloody Mary and the Baby Blue that we did. I completely forgot about that.
It really wasn't that scary, other than that we trapped a spirit in a blanket and tried to keep it away.
So we summoned Bloody Mary.
Well, at least like what normally takes it to summon.
Yeah, and then
obviously not like the full ritual, but like, cause we're kids, we can't do rituals.
And we summoned Baby Blue as well. And we wrapped Baby Blue in a blanket. And
just hid.
We couldn't see him, but the weight of a baby was in the blanket. It was really scary. And we went to sleep, obviously, because it was really late at night and we were tired. And when we woke up, baby Blue was gone. There was no weight in the blanket, and the blanket was like completely torn and weird. We really thought that was Bloody Mary as well. That was extremely scary.
The other thing about that is I also saw like not really like a very big figure, but like a figure over his body, and it really scared me. Like actually genuinely
Yeah, while I
though.
was sleeping, because we were taking shifts.
So while he was asleep, I shined the light at it and I started like chasing it, but dude just got up. And it almost took him. Like genuinely. Like if you really thought about this, this is the scariest thing for me to see, is my friend almost being taken by a spirit. Like,
Yeah.
not kidding. I didn't tell you this because I don't want to freak you out at the time. Because trust me, you probably would have. But what happened is that it was slowly grabbing at your blankets and picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not kidding. That's how I know it's real. It's because it was grabbing at your blanket.
Yeah.
Slowly, but yes, definitely. Another story. I just remembered it. A few months ago, I was just sitting and chilling. And, well, this is a very short story, but something grabbed my leg. Something grabbed my leg from under the couch. And I still have the scratch.
So this story, I think technically would count, even though it didn't happen to me. But I do know it's true, because it happened to my friend, and he had literal footage of it. But there's this thing we like to call, I'm sure it has its own technical name, but we like to call it the tree witch. And the thing about this was, if a kid is out past 12 o'clock, or 12 a.m., midnight, if they're outside past 12 o'clock with a bunch of trees around them, that's why we call it the tree witch. That's when she comes out. And it's just this... Have any of you ever seen Gravity Falls? Have you
Sort
seen
of.
it? Have you seen the
I've seen a
Halloween
few
one?
episodes.
Have you seen the Halloween one with the trickster,
No.
whatever? No? Well, if any of you have, it kind of looks like him, but I'll explain it for those of you who haven't. So it's like this big, huge, fat thing with no face and 4 legs, and my friend was running because he was out with his mom and they were eating at Denny's or something. I don't remember what it was. But once they got out, and of course because his mom's an adult, she couldn't see it because it's not a kid. But he was pulling out his phone and taking pictures because the scenery was beautiful. He showed me the pictures. It was kind of Christmas time, so there was a bunch of Christmas decorations and it was pretty. And then he sees something coming up to them in the distance, and he thinks, oh, it's just a person. And, but really...
Oh my gosh, that brings up, like, the most scary story I think we've heard this night.
But really...
Yeah.
Hold on. Really, though, it was the tree witch, and she comes crawling up at them, and he's yelling at his mom to run, because he's running, and of course she can't see it, and she doesn't know why he's running. So he tells him to slow down or he's grounded. So, having to listen to his mom, he slowed down, and the witch came up on him, and he could feel her. And it was just...
I have 999 gnats, don't die!
Even just listening to it.
Oh my gosh, you just gave him 999 materials.
And he said that he got tackled down, and that's why, because there was one part in the video where his phone just got flung out, and you couldn't see anything, so I had to take his word for it. He said he got tackled down to the floor, and his mom thought that he had tripped. So when she went to pick him up, he just got knocked down again, and she just thinks, oh, he's stupid. And she just straight up picks him up and walks him back home. And he just sees the tree witch climbing up the building next to him and going away. And it was caught on video, and I saw it. That was so scary. But again, I didn't think that would really count, because it didn't happen to me. But like, that was the scariest thing.
Okay, now this
Imagine
is the...
being in that situation.
I'd probably punch it. It would look stupid to my mom, but I would punch it. Well, no, if I was actually in genuine fear, my mom would let me run. Because if I was in genuine fear, she would say, well, if she did say, stop running or you're grounded, I would walk up to her and start crying.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it attacked me, I'd be like, ah!
If I was in that situation, I would yell to my mom that there's something, and of course she wouldn't believe me, because it's not there. But I would be sprinting off, and if she told me to stop or I was grounded, I would keep going, because it's my life versus video games. I mean, come on. I would sprint back home, and that would be so scary though, seeing that big, huge, faceless monster thing coming at you on 4 legs, super duper fast. Like, that would, I would hate that.
You wanna know
He
this?
said he didn't sleep that night.
I wouldn't either if that came at me. But I actually
Yeah.
didn't sleep for 2 days when this happened. So I think I got it worse than him. I think we're going on the same story of a tree demon thing. But Xavier and I were just hanging out. We noticed it was solar eclipse. And we were like, oh, this is cool, let's stay up and watch the stars. That was horrible. Cause I was over at a sleepover. He took me somewhere. My mom agreed to it. He took me over somewhere. I forgot exactly where it was. Oh, why am I drinking Big Pop before minis? I'm an idiot. But what happened is we were in a forest, just looking at the stars, and not faceless, but like, I mean, you can consider it faceless if you want to, but it's almost like a, what'd you call it? It was basically the size of not a semi-truck, the size of a truck head. So, like a van. If you look in an RV van, that's how big it looked. But, it was really horrifying to me at the time, because we were just hanging around, playing around, and messing around. And, we see this figure walking towards us. Same logic as yours, runs extremely fast. But you know Peanut from SCP Foundation.
No,
How if you look at it, it won't move, right?
Okay.
It had that kind of logic, but you had to look away from it. And what it would do if you looked at it away from it too long is it would start moving. Salem Squid.
Have you ever
Man, we
played
just found
Emily
Salem.
Wants? Have you ever played Emily Wants to Play?
No, I told you this. I don't know that game.
Okay, so it's like Kiki.
Do you love me?
Called... No, there's a character called. There's a character called Kiki, and if you look at it, then it stops, and it won't move. So it's like you said. except the opposite. So
Yes.
I do know a character like that, just not the character you're talking about.
Okay. Well, yeah, the character that I'm talking about, if you look at it, it doesn't move, and it's very hostile if you keep looking at it. If you don't look at it, though, it breaks your neck. That's its main logic. If you look at it, it won't come up to you. If you look away from it, it will snap your neck. That is its built function. I already have 5.
Oh, okay. There was one. I mean, this isn't really scary because
I need to finish my story though.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
No, but what happened is this thing. We looked away from it because that's normal kid logic. We hear it stop, and then we hear very slow, like thumping. We look back at it, and it starts running at us at like blazing speed. So we turn away from it, and it stops moving. We're like, I was started crying. He was too, but like, he was like, stop being a baby, baby. He was crying as well, though. It was so funny. I mean, not the monster, though. That wasn't funny. It was the fact that he was yelling at me not to cry. And I was yelling at him not to yell.
But you were yelling?
I was like, ah! Like that sort of like crying noise that people make when they're really sad and like afraid to die.
Yeah.
So kind of like that noise.
I got a blanket marker on him. His partner's not anywhere near him. Done with your story?
No. Because one of us got grabbed, but you guys have to find out when I'm almost done with the story. So yeah, it was just thumping towards us very slowly. So we start moving at very slow paces because we think it's very aggro. We don't realize that later, while we're running away from it, this is later in the story. But if we run away from it, it's fine. Whoa! Oh, survive hitting the ground at least twice stories high. Huh. That's cool.
You didn't survive, but
I mean, I'm dead, but... White guy dabs a lot. Wow. Mr.
Sounds like a thumbnail Flash video.
Okay, so,
Did I just say it sounds like a thumbnail?
It sounds like a thumbnail to me. But no, what happened later while we're just slowly walking away from it, it's walking same pace we are. He turns around like the dumb person he is. I'm sorry, you're not dumb. But he turns around. And I just hear dum 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 dum. Look at me! As he just like curls into a ball. I look behind me to stop it from attacking him because it's afraid of me. Looks at me. Looks at him. And then just stops. So just like, don't you move or I will kill you. I don't think he remembers this because it's the first day we met. I mean, the first year that we met. First day, man. That was horrifying memories. Bring people together. No, but it was one of the first memories. Every time I bring it up, he says he doesn't remember. I think it wiped his memory. Okay, I'm gonna just say it now. It grabbed him. So I looked away and it grabs him. That's at the moment. It grabs him, keeps him on the floor. So I know it's either just a shadow of our imagination. But he said, after that day, that he has a big scratch on his arm, and he doesn't remember what happened that day. It grabs him. I can just hear a little tss. That's all I hear. And then I just hear thump, 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 thump. We think he put a tracking thing in, because the next day we hear the thumping. I look outside and go, stop driving harshly. I have no clue why I said that. But I've never seen it since, so I guess saying that made him very sad.
So, my story, this is not really scary, more of a coincidence, I guess. So I watched the Siren Head video by Markiplier. I watched that last night. And while I was here today, I was outside doing my exercises, and the siren from the Siren Head game was going off. It was just the police, but I mean, still, that's kind of coincidental.
Coincidental. Excuse me.
Let's do some creative, because we're not doing very good in this.
Alright. I mean, that was mainly our scary stories. So do you want to make us talking about the place that we went to and finding the bullet?
We can do it this video, because I mean, it's not a very long one, I guess.
Alright, I guess. Do you want to start us off? Oh, no, I'll start it off because I found it. So I'm just walking around doing some school stuff. I find a bullet on the floor. Not full, obviously. The back is torn out, so where the pin hits it to shoot out the bullet. But it's out. Smells like it. Seriously, it smell. Let me invite Bunny to prove that story is either real or he doesn't remember it. But what happened was we found the bullet. I showed him. And then, yeah. So we're doing a scary stories video. I'm just explaining what happened to something. But do you remember on one of the first trips that we had, we went to a forest and something grabbed you in the arm? Do you remember that, or do you still not remember that?
Me?
Yeah, because you said that we went to you took me to a forest of some sort. It was the eclipse, so we went to go see it. Something grabbed you by the arm and we ran. Is that true? Or do you still not remember that?
Yeah.
There we go, guys, we proved it. No, but I was talking about that, and that night, you had said that you hadn't remembered anything from the day. So I thought to myself, because obviously you wouldn't believe me that night, but you said that you didn't know, but you had a scratch on your arm. Do you still have that scratch? Just saying. Like, is it almost... Okay, you don't. Okay. So you can't prove that part, but yes, he did. Yeah, you do remember. So that's one thing. There's a few stories that we're gonna tell, and do you want us to share some of your own? Because we're doing a scary story video.
I'm just looking at the freaking, I really want them.
Oh, the item shop has changed. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Be right back, guys.
Alright.
Okay.
So I'll continue my story.
Invite me back in a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
So, going on the story. Here, let me invite him, because he said to invite him. But basically what happened was, I was at the food bank, found a bullet, and stuff. You said to invite you, so I invited you.
Okay.
So, basically what happened is we found a bullet on the floor, I showed him, and smelled like gunpowder, which is a scary thing. And then found out that there was a shooting at that exact food bank.
Yeah, so, he took it and filled it with some sand.
I have no clue why, don't judge me, okay?
But it was like, the thing is, it was like gunpowder, so when you threw it, it felt like, it looked like it could pierce someone. And, we made this, like, type paper cardboard tape gun thing, and we put the bullet in, and we shot it at the wall. And
Now
it
don't worry, it was
completely
just rubber bands. We only used trust me, we only did this mainly as a joke to see what would happen. And well, it happened.
Yeah,
Dang it, I
the
really
rubber
wanted the bunny
bands
skin.
completely
Frick.
ricocheted.
I really
Yeah.
wanted that bunny skin because it goes with my skin.
And then we took the bullet, and seeing how the rubber bands had ricocheted, we set up this, like, you know that little playhouse you used to have?
Yeah.
Wait, do you still have them? Do you still have them?
Maybe.
It was, we put that in there, and we shut everything off, and we shot it in the house, and it nearly broke the wall. It, like, dented it. And, that proves that it really was a bullet. And,
Don't worry,
it's not
well, it's
really
fixed. And it wasn't in my house, by the way. It was actually at school.
Yeah.
But
You're just stupid.
it
We
was in
shot
the
a gun
playhouse
at
at school, so they don't know. Well, we're admitting to no, but it did not, like, it plastic. We only dented the plastic, which is obvious, but it wasn't like we shot a gun in it.
Yeah, no, it was an extremely weak little paper mache thing. It couldn't have gone through any, like, actual plastic or skin or anything. It would be like a BB gun. It would just smack you.
Which would still hurt, but yeah, it was a real bullet. It was very scary. They didn't found out that it was the shooting. Okay, now, this is another story. I am not going to explain everything that happens in this, because we don't know if this is true or not, so we're not going to say anything that's false. But I was over at Xavier's house, and, well, I got a feeling that something was next to me. Generally, my first instinct was to get up and tell Xavier. Now, you know the story, it happened to the both of us. We both remember it still to this day, hopefully. So you can back me up if anything I say is incorrect.
Okay, after this round I have to go, so.
Alright, but what happened is that we went over and checked it out. Mind me, his door is broken, so this scared me a little bit, but then realizing, oh, the door is broken. Nothing was out there. The door creaked open and nothing was there. Do you remember that? Or was I wrong and it was a cat?
No, I remember that. I
Yeah.
completely remember that.
Mm-hmm. So, it opened for no reason, and we got scared. We started playing on his computer, you know, just hanging out like bros. Door opens again, this time a cat. It comes in, you know, sleeps with us for a little bit. Walks out, doesn't shut the door, so I'd be like, cat's not shutting doors, but they can open doors. So I was using stupid logic, to get rid of the fact that I was actually horrified at the moment. And then, door opens, nothing's there once again, and then we hear breathing.
Alright, I'm gonna go.
Okay. It's
I'll
3 a.m.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Alright, see you tomorrow. It's 3 a.m. right now. Well, at the time that it was. It's 3 a.m. We were just hanging out. We hear breathing.
Can I invite a friend?
What?
Moshi Komu.
Can I invite a
Goodbye.
friend?
Shikama. Yeah, you can invite a friend.
Because I don't just want us to play, but go on.
Yeah. The episode's gonna end actually after this story. But then, well, I got scratched. And I think it might have been a cat, but we both thought it was Slender Man or... Jeez, I'm a laser. But yeah, I got scratched. I don't know what happened. And, well, the day moved on.
Oh. Basically.
Do you have any scary stories you want to say?
What?
Do you have any scary stories you want to say? Like any?
Not really.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully
I
I'll...
have one, but I can say that for the next one.
Alright. Alright, so keep that in mind. We're not going to record it. To the day that we're recording it, we're not going to record the next one afterward. So I guess we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice spooky night. Ooh. Oh no! A ghost is devouring my soul. Ah!